Hello, I'm BrigantiaBlackbird of BlackbirdsBrew. Happy Tuesday. Let's talk about elective despotism. I have discussed the government's boundary issues on this channel on many occasions, and I will continue to do so because it's important for we citizens to recognize how out of order the system has become because of all the crap that's been piled upon top of it. And it's good for us to compare our current state of affairs to what was originally intended so we have a vision of the direction we actually want to go. So in this video, we'll be taking a look at just one quote from one founding father. And it says, "An elective despotism was not the government we fought for, but one in which the power of government should be so divided and balanced among the several bodies of magistracy that no one could transcend their legal limits without being effectually checked and restrained by the others." That was James Madison in Federalist Paper number 58, February 1st, 1788. And for those who might be unfamiliar with the term despotism, it is defined as the exercise of absolute power, especially in a cruel and oppressive way. Every wrong turn our country has ever taken has occurred when its founding principles were violated, or when something that contradicts those principles was permitted to exist, that kind of elective despotism that James Madison was warning about. And the worst of the problems we face right now are either caused or worsened by the branches of government violating the intended separation of powers. And it continues to go on because so many of Americans have been utterly indoctrinated to believe that they aren't actually in charge of the government and they simply have to do what they're told. It fills me with rage because it is such a grotesque and an anti-American thought. It just makes me feel ill or like I need to go take a shower to cleanse myself just uttering the words that anyone has allowed such a grotesque idea to be formed in their heads. But it is what it is. That is the reality of our state of affairs. People are in that state, and we will not solve our problems if we refuse to acknowledge the nature of what they are. So the government is not and was never intended to be free to do whatever it likes. Winning an election is not a blank check for public officials to just walk over everybody or violate the Constitution. And it may not feel like one voice counts. But if we and our countrymen who take exception to the abusive treatment of the government make that known, and then yes, we can get these elected idiots back on the leash and under the control of the citizens where they belong. What's missing from this equation is individuals assuming their responsibilities as citizens. I don't care who you elect. At the end of the day, government does not and will never truly regulate itself. That is the job of the citizenry to put their foot down, and none of us are exempt from that duty. I don't care if you don't want to get involved or you're not a political person or whatever mealy-mouthed excuse you might have. None of us are exempt. This is what makes us citizens rather than subject. Keeping the branches of government in check, insisting that boundaries be vigorously maintained is our job. And in our case, seeing that boundaries are restored is our job. And it won't get sorted out overnight. But do we benefit from putting off this job? I mean, obviously not. I mean, the longer it goes on, the more entrenched these patterns are, and the harder it will be to set things back on a better course. So let's make ourselves heard. Let's give the politicians a hard yank of the leash and remind them of who's actually in charge around here. And if you'd like to continue this discussion, please let me know in the comments section or come see us on Gilded. There's a link to join us in the description box below, and we have a channel that is dedicated to current events and politics. I would love to brainstorm with you. I know we can set things right, or at the very least, I know that we can make the hemorrhaging that's been happening to our system stop. If people really came together, we absolutely have the power to make it stop. And by planting seeds and us doing our part, we start building the foundation for a future in which we are not experiencing the insanity that we are dealing with now. So food for thought, and I hope you'll be part of that discussion. But that will do it for this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.